sure that I'm recording here also. Okay, good. So let's get going. We'll start with the Mangalacharan prayers here. Om Ajnanatimandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So I'm going to unmute all of you.
All participants are unmuted.
And I should send you the verse for today. And let's see what the verse for today is. Let's go here. And the verse for you. And if you're in a noisy environment, then you can just unmute. You can just put yourself on mute. And whenever you have a question to ask, you can unmute yourself and ask. So that will remove some of the management tasks from my plate here. And I have posted the link and sent it off to you all if somebody can confirm that they can see the link, and we will then get going on that.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, good. And thank you, Chitra Mataji, for joining us, and also Preeti Radhika Mataji there. Okay, and then on Zoom, we have Shraddha-devi Dasi with us on Zoom, and I'm going to read from the verse there. So we have been reading from the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna had told Arjuna that the best thing is and the highest perfection is when the mind concentrates and is focused on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in the previous verses, Arjuna has been telling that it's a very difficult thing for one to control the mind. And Krishna tells him in the previous verse that, yes, we agree, it's not possible, but by suitable practice, you will be able to do that. So now in this, let's see what Arjuna is going to say in this particular verse. Arjuna vacha ayati shraddhayopeto yogach chalitamanasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kamgatim krishna gacchati. So Arjuna is saying, what is Arjuna saying? Arjuna uvacha, Arjuna said, ayatihi, yatihi and ayatihi, the unsuccessful transcendentalist. Shraddhaya, with faith. Upetaha, engaged. Yogat, from the mystic link. Chalita, deviated. Manasaha, who has such a mind. Aprapya, failing to attain. Yoga samsiddhim, the highest perfection in mysticism. Kam, which, gatim, destination. Krishna, O Krishna. Gacchati, achieves. So let's look at these synonyms again. So if somebody does something with faith, what is that called?
Shraddha.
Shraddhaya. Okay, good. And if somebody has to go to a particular place, like a goal or a destination, what is that called? Gatim is called, the destination is Gatim. So Veer Gati ko prapt hue, right? So they reach the destination where all the Veers go, right? Which is heavenly planet. Like that. And then what is the Sanskrit for mind? Mana, mana. Like, okay. And then if somebody is not able to achieve something, what do you call that? I'm trying to achieve something and I'm not able to get that.
Aprapya.
Aprapya, very good. And then if somebody was trying to find, transcendentalism and he's not able to do that, what is that called?
Yoga Samstita.
Ayatihi. Ayatihi, yeah, ayatihi, which is the unsuccessful transcendentalist. If I'm engaged in doing something, right? Like I'm engaged in talking, you're engaged in listening, what is that called in Sanskrit? Mam upeta, right? Krishna also says, Mam upetya tu konteya punarjanmana vidyate. So if you are engaged in devotional service of the Lord, then you will not get repeated births. And that's like we got that. Okay. And what is the meaning of Kam? Yeah. Which, right? So he's asking which destination. Okay, if you achieve something, what is that called? Gachati. Okay, good. All right, so let's look at the translation now. Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who, in the beginning, takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly-mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in Buddhism?" So that's the question. What is the destination? Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So if you're, I'm just going to mute some of the lines because it just distracts me here, and then allowing you to unmute yourself. Okay, so let's go back to our verse, purport by Srila Prabhupada. The path of self-realization or mysticism is described in the Bhagavad Gita. The basic principle of self-realization is knowledge that the living entity is not this material body, but that he is different from it, and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss, and knowledge. These are transcendental, beyond both body and mind. Self-realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by the practice of eightfold system, or by bhakti yoga. In each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity, his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can reestablish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. Following any of the above mentioned three methods, one is sure to reach the supreme goal sooner or later. This was asserted by the Lord in the second chapter. Even a little endeavor on the transcendental path offers a great hope for deliverance. Out of these three methods, the path of Bhakti Yoga is especially suitable for this age because it is the most direct method of God realization. To be doubly assured, Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna to confirm his former statement. One may sincerely accept the path of self-realization, but the process of cultivation of knowledge and the practice of the eightfold yoga system are generally very difficult for this age. Therefore, despite constant endeavor, one may fail for many reasons. First of all, one may not be sufficiently serious about following the process. To pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy. I'm going to repeat that sentence one more time. To pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy. Consequently, whenever a person tries to escape the clutches of the illusory energy, she tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. A conditioned soul is already allured by the modes of material energy, and there is every chance of being allured again, even while performing transcendental disciplines. This is called yoga chalitamanasaha, deviation from the transcendental path. Arjuna is inquisitive to know the results of deviation from the path of self-realization. Okay, so I'm going to unmute all of you and look for reflections coming from you all. Vaishana, you can unmute yourself by, you can do it yourself. You don't have to, but I'll do Um, okay, everybody's unmuted right now. And welcome Anirudh Prabhu and also Archana Mataji to the call. Good to have you here. And Surisha Viravalli. Oh, so good to see you. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Surisha Mataji. Then with Pranam. Was that Surisha speaking or was it Preeti? I've heard mixed voices. Preeti Radhika. Okay, Preeti Radhika. Go ahead.
So what stood out for me that Srila Prabhupada emphasized that Bhakti Yoga in this time is the best out of the three more processes of attaining transcendental enlightenment. And, I realized that, with my friends and when I was younger, it's like we are all seeking love in some form or the other, from our children, when we are younger, from our potential spouse. And we're always hankering for love. And Bhakti Yoga is nothing but placing the love in the right place, which is Krishna. And so that's why Bhakti Yoga comes just naturally to mostly people. And that was my takeaway. Thank you.
Yes, very good observation. And very good decision also that Krishna is the best is the best object of our love. And it was very interesting that one Mataji pointed out this to me, and she said that in the Bhagavad Gita in the 8th chapter it talks about, not in the 15th, it talks about Gam Avishya Cha Bhutani. So he's saying that he holds all the planetary system, right? Also he says, Sutre Mani Gana Eva, all these things, I whatever is his creation, he's kind of like a thread that holds everything together. So look at the planetary systems. I mean, they move with clockwork precision, and we hardly hear of that Earth went out of its orbits and things like that. We rarely hear of that. So, and even if it does, then that God has a purpose behind it. So he's capable of handling such heavy items like the Earth, Jupiter, planets, universes. Look at Vishnu, like the entire universe is resting on his navel, like that. So she said that when Krishna can take care of such heavy items, and you don't have to worry that he'll drop them and they will break, we should also give our heart to Krishna, because he's the only one who will keep it safe and it'll never break because he really knows how to keep the things safely with him. And I was like, wow, that's like, a big boost towards doing devotional service to the Lord. And also why devotional service comes naturally to you is that the soul is wired like that. It's the constitutional position of the soul to do devotional service of the Lord. It will come very, very naturally. Yeah, but for some it is completely covered, and covered by other things as well. So we are not able to see through the true devotional service, which is a characteristic of the soul, doesn't come through, right? And other things come over there. But good point. Yeah. What else?
Krishna actually doesn't even expect much. He's saying that just make a small effort and a small endeavor to come to the transcendental path, and then I will assure you of deliverance.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Right. Very good point. What else? Balshana, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, the happiness is the eternal life. The basic principle of self-realization is a knowledge that the living entity is not this material body, but that he is different from it, and that his happiness is an eternal life. So this happiness is only we get is from the eternal, not outside whatever we do.
Yeah,
that's not the real happiness.
Our quest for happiness should lead us to finding the right kind of happiness, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, right. So let's go a little bit into the detail. Are there any other reflections, any other thoughts? Anybody that I missed? Anybody wanted to say and share?
To pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on illusionary energy.
Yeah.
This was you pointed out also, and I really liked it.
Yeah. It was, yeah. It's a very powerful statement there. Okay, so let's look at it a little bit more details here, and so So in the beginning of the purport, there's a mention there about self-realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by the practice of eightfold system, or by bhakti yoga. And so we are talking about Dhyan Yoga here, right? This is chapter on Dhyan Yoga, which is practice of the eightfold system. And sometimes, the acharyas have commented on this, that when Krishna is talking in Bhagavad Gita, and he's talking about the different paths, but every now and then he kind of comes back and just starts somehow or the other, he brings in the concept of bhakti yoga. He'll just do that. And if he doesn't do it, then Prabhupada will add, like that. Because they are so convinced that, this is the real path to go. This is the real way that, one should be using that. And then Prabhupada says in the purport that in each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity, his relationship with the Lord, the activities by which he can reestablish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. So there are three things that you should know. One is known as relationship with God, which is also called the Sambandha Gyan. We should know, what is my relationship? So what is my relationship with God? In a sense, on principles. What is it?
We're eternal servants.
Eternal servant.
Yeah, we are servants.
Servants.
Yes, so the sooner we understand that, the better it is for our own health, right? So that we have sambandha, and then we have prayojana, and we have adideva, and which is, that what is the process by which we need to achieve him, right? And then what is the final goal that is there. So what is the highest goal of, if you are a human body, what is the highest goal that you should aim for?
To go back to Godhead, goal of Vrindavan.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. To go back to Golok Vrindavan?
Yeah.
What is the highest goal in life?
Mataji, love of Godhead.
Love of Godhead, exactly. Prema Pumarto Mayan. Mahan. Prema Pumarto Mahan. So that's what we should all be looking at, right? That is what our aim in life should be. Okay? So the goal is, Prayojan is to find the ultimate love of God. And that is the highest perfectional stage of doing Krishna consciousness. Okay? And then, of course, as you pointed out, that, you can follow this step or that step, but this path or that path, jnana or dhyana, but to reach to the absolute truth. But then the absolute truth comes in three flavors, right? What are the three flavors in which the absolute truth comes?
Jnana, karma, and jnana.
No, those are the paths. But when you finally look at the absolute truth itself is in three flavors, right? God is in three flavors.
You mean rasa?
So this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, and verse number 10 or 11, actually. Vadanti tatta tattvidas tattam yad jnana advayam brahmeti paramatmeti.
Brahman, Paramatma, and
Bhagwan.
Right?
Bhagwan.
Yeah. Brahman, Paramatma, and Gyan. So if you're going to follow the Gyan route, right, then you reach the Brahman effulgence. If you follow the Dhyan route, then you reach Paramatma in your heart. But if you use the Bhakti route, right, then you find Bhagwan. Okay? So although you're reaching the absolute...
Can you please repeat this one more time?
Yeah. If you follow the route of Jnana, then you reach the effulgence of the Lord. And because what do the Gyanis want to do? They want to merge into the Supreme. So they go and merge into the effulgence. And then if you do Dhyan Yoga, where you meditate on the super soul in your heart, then you reach the Paramatma feature of the Lord. And then if you are a Bhakti Yogi, if you're doing devotional service to the Lord, then you reach Bhagwan himself, Krishna, like that. Okay? So we will reach there, but so there's a little fine print over there, right? And again, there's no confusion for us in this particular yoga, because Prabhupada is telling us that in this yoga, don't even think of other routes. They're too difficult for us, right? For example, the Gyanis or even the Dhyanis have to meditate, right? If they have to sit down and meditate, they need to have a proper, undisturbed environment in which they can do that, right? Which is not possible in this age at all to do, right? Because one of the characteristics of people of this age is upadritaha. They are always disturbed, right? Like that Chanarukhi says that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Alpa ayusya sabhya kale asmin yoge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadritaha. So he talks about 6 characteristics of people in Kali Yuga, and always being disturbed is one of them. So how can you sit down and meditate on anything for that matter, right? I mean, look at the attention span that we have these days, right? Look at the videos which are there, that the training videos that are there, that are explaining some concept to you. I mean, earlier we could sit in a class for 1 hour and listen everything and be still fresh at the end of it, right? But nowadays the attention span is like not more than 3 minutes if you are listening to any concept. So that's why the training nowadays is delivered in such small chunks of pieces. They will just explain one small concept and then, that's it. The training is over. If you want to learn any other concept, come back again and then, learn the other small piece. That's how we can take it one small bite at a time, right? And not long discourses. I mean, we hear of the discourse that Sukdev Goswami gave to Parikshit Maharaj. How long was that?
7 days. And
7 days
nights.
and 7 nights, right? So that's the kind of length that people could digest and stay focused for such a long time. It was possible like that, but not in this age.
Yes, Mataji. I have realized in my own self also, when I was young, I mean, young means you can say nearly 20 years ago also, I wasn't young then, but my concentration level was much, much better. I could concentrate and get the thing. And now I'm in just in a span of a few seconds, my mind is going here and there.
Exactly. And one of the reasons, and then you see that, I mean, attention spans 3 minutes. I mean, people on Facebook don't even have that kind of attention span. Right? We are from here to there to there to there and, completely gone. You go there to Facebook to do something, you go there to WhatsApp to do something, you see something else and it's all gone, like that. Yeah.
Oh. No, even Mataji, while chanting also, the mind keeps on, going here and there.
Yeah.
You try to be, very attentive and you are concentrating on the mantra. And then sitting firmly that now my mind will not go anywhere. You are telling yourself, you are saying the mantra and paying attention on this and hearing it properly. And suddenly you don't even know where you are. And after some time, after the mantra is over, oh my God, this mantra is gone. So this is the thing. I mean, I really blame myself, curse myself that what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? I keep telling myself. But Mataji, it seems I'm failed. I fail at times.
Yeah, but bad chanting is better than no chanting. So you should not give it up. You should continue.
Mataji, I liked this line. No chanting is better than.
Bad chanting is better than no chanting.
Yeah. Chanting.
Yeah, so you should still chant. Yeah. Because in the nectar of instruction, there is that Prabhupada explains that when you have why you don't like, why does your mind go here and there? And the reason is we don't have any taste for chanting. That ruchi is not there. The taste is not there. When we have a taste for something, we listen. Right? We sit down, we listen, we do that, right? Whatever that we have a taste for. Like if we sit down for a gossiping session, we remember every word clearly, like that. So it happens like that. So we don't have the taste, and then actually it's the reverse. We don't like it. Forget about not having a taste. It's like we detest it. And he said that is because of the disease we have, and materialism is the disease that we have. And he gives the example of a person who's suffering from jaundice. And he says that person suffering from jaundice, the holy names of the Lord are very sweet. If you taste them, they are very sweet. But because we are jaundiced, that even a sweet thing like the name of the Lord will taste bitter to us, just as sugarcane juice tastes bitter to a person who's suffering from jaundice. And guess what? What is the cure for a person who's suffering from jaundice? It is sugarcane juice. If you drink sugarcane juice, then your jaundice gets removed. And then as the jaundice goes away, which means the bile production in the body is controlled, then you cut back your sweetness in the mouth. It will come back. So similarly with the chanting of the mantras, of the Harinam mantra also, that you should just sit and You should just sit and, do it, continue to do that. And while you are determined that you're going to, while you must have the determination that I'm going to, sit down and tell your mind that no deviation and things like that. You should also do that in a prayerful mood. And before doing the chanting, pray to the Lord to help. Because honestly, nobody can help. I mean, we can get guidance, etc. But ultimately, we have to fly our own plane. And while you're flying your own plane, it's better to make Krishna the commander, like that. So beg for his mercy, beg for his assistance, and then try it like that tomorrow. And let's see how that goes.
Mataji, I mean, before praying to Krishna, it is always said that pray to your Guru, because he's the one who
will that you know already. Yeah, that you already know, right? Yeah, pray to Krishna, you'll follow the process of how you go to Krishna, like that. So ayati, so here he's saying ayati, right? Not ayati, ayatihi shraddhayo peto, right? So what was the meaning of ayatihi? Unsuccessful transcendentalist. Okay. And what was the meaning of Shraddhaya?
With faith.
With faith, right? So they are unsuccessful transcendentalists, but the good thing is that they have got faith. They are not the faithless. They are not the faithless people, right? Because it is very simple that if they were faithless, if they did not have faith, then they will not be doing devotional service in the first place, right? But these people are doing it. They are doing some dhyan yoga and these are fair, like that. And then in the 9 process of devotional service that I have been teaching the last few weeks, so what is the first thing that you should have? What is the first stage of devotional service? Say that again. Faith, right? Adau Shraddha. This is Adau Shraddha tataha sadhu sangha tatha bhajana kriya, right? And then there are other stages that come over there. So in the beginning, there is faith. And of course, faith in the beginning is soft faith. It's like a banana tree and you can move it in from one direction to another direction. You can even uproot it like that, right? It's a soft one. And then as you continue to, but that doesn't mean that you should stop doing everything because everything is not coming right? You continue through the process, look for devotee association, see what the devotees are doing, sadhu sangha. Atha bhajana kriya. So then you start doing the bhajana kriya, which is like chanting. It's bhajana kriya. And it might not be good. That's okay. So Shraddha will continue to strengthen as you progress in the devotional service. And the highest and the 9th stage of devotional service is when you get prema pumartho mahan, when you get the love of Godhead, right? So this is a process. This is a nine steps of 9 stages are there in the devotional service. So Arjuna, of course, he's a warrior, he's a devotee, but he's in the royal family as well. So he's just asking okay, he's looking at returns on the investment, ROI, as we say, right? What are the returns on my investments? What are we asked to invest when we go into devotional service? Na janam, na dhanam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadish kamaye, mama janmani ishvare, bhavatat bhakti, ahaitu tvai. So there's a prayer that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, and that he's made, that's a very tall statement there, because that is like na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. So all 3 are gone. What is there left in this life, right? So when people make investments in the devotional service, they are looking for that. They are looking like, okay, I have made this investment. You told me 4 regulative principles. I'm following them. You told me to chant. I've invested my time over there. And you told no janam, no dhanam. So don't look for high birth. Don't look for beautiful wife. Don't look for wealth. So you told me all that. I gave up all that. And now the fear is that if I die before achieving all this that I'm supposed to achieve. So Arjuna's question is a very valid question, right? He's asking that, what happens to those who are unsuccessful? They had Shraddha, they had faith in God, so they started. But what happened to me? Will I be left halfway through? Which means that it is actually a double whammy for me, because not only did I fail in devotional service, I failed in the material life as well, right? So it's like, wow, what do I do? Right? So it's a very difficult process, dhyan yoga, or for that matter, for any process. So it's not that it's the mind. See, the main thing is there are certain basic truths which are there. It doesn't matter which path of devotional service that you follow. Whether you're going the Gyan route, whether you're doing the Dhyan route, and you know, Gyan route, you're thinking, thinking, thinking. Dhyan route, you're meditating, meditating, meditating. Bhakti route, you're chanting, 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 or some of the other bhakti processes you're doing. Your mind is still going to waver. It doesn't matter who you are, Bhakti Yogi, Gyan Yogi, Dhyan Yogi, Karma Yogi, whatever. Mind is like Panchalam, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. So he had said Chanchala means it chalta hai. Yeah, it moves like that, right? So those problems are, everybody are going to face that problem. It's not that, you know, I move from this path to that path and I'll be safe and the mind will be taken care of, right? So so this is the biggest fear that people have, that if I give up my material things and try to invest in devotional service, what's going to happen? And I have actually noticed that a lot when I went on book distribution, going door to door. And so sometimes you'll find that you know, you go to a home and you find there's a bachelor there, and he's very excited. He'll take a Bhagavad Gita from you. It's a couple of other books from Prabhupada. He's all excited about reading. He'll read. Ask him to come to the temple. He'll come. And then, you know, a year later, you're again in that community and you're again distributing. There's some books. This time you have a Bhagavatam, and you knock at his door because you know there's a devotee inside. This guy had been doing such wonderful thing. And now the door is opened by the wife. And so this guy got married, and, you know, fine, that's very good. And then you start positioning the Srimad Bhagavatam to the husband, and the husband is very much interested, kind of doing all that. And then, you know, when the time comes for us to ask him whether you want to take it or not, then the husband looks at the wife, and then that's it. The communication is done. The wife is saying, don't get it. Don't do that. Because she's worried that my mature life is going to be finished. I have, you know, married this guy. I was looking for some enjoyment, and I don't want him to become a sannyasi. So that kind of a fear is always there, that if you go to devotional service, you're going to lose everything that you have, right? Apparently, they have not read the story of Dhruv Maharaj, who after seeing Krishna said, I don't want anything. And Krishna said, no, I'm going to give you something because you asked for it. And it started with asking for it like that. So it's not that Krishna doesn't give. Actually, Krishna gives you beyond your expectation. He'll do that, right? Like, you just have to have that faith in that, right? So that's the biggest fear. And Krishna knows about that fear. Krishna knows about that fear. And that's why in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, what does he say about, you know, not being afraid? Very famous verse. He says, Sarv dharman paritajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshisyami ma suchaha. He's saying ma suchaha. You know, don't doubt and don't fear. Like that. Right? So, and Krishna has said that. Krishna has said something to that extent earlier in this chapter also. Masucha is coming in chapter 18, but in this verse, in chapter number 6, he has said that, you know, you should always engage your body, mind, and self in relationship with the Supreme, and that's it. All my enjoyment is gone. God, you are taking away my body, my mind, and myself, you know. And you should live in a secluded place. That's it. Now you have to go and live in a hut in the Himalayas, like, and then try to control your mind. And you should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. So that's it, you know. Possessiveness, nothing now belongs to me, and I can't even desire for anything there. Right? So it's difficult, right? It's a difficult thing for people to digest like that, right? I mean, people want to go, you know, to higher planners. You know, Karma Yogi want to go and do that. Dhyan Yogis want to merge into the effulgence. Dhyan Yogis are looking for Paramatma, like that. You know, so it is a fact, and it is a situation there. So that's why Arjuna is asking. And why is Arjuna asking Krishna? Because Krishna is the spiritual master, right? Krishna is the spiritual master because Arjuna surrendered to Krishna in chapter 2. So now he's asking. It's a very nice thing to do. When you're in doubt, you ask your spiritual master. And also, you know, Krishna has told them, Bhavishyani cha bhutani mam cha veda na kaschana, right? So he had said that I know the present, the past, and the future. So Arjuna is rightfully asking Krishna that what happens to that person in the future? If he's a unsuccessful transcendentalist, what's going to happen to him in this particular life? So Arjuna is there's a doubt that has come to Arjuna's mind. He's using his intelligence, and it's the job of intelligence to doubt, but he's also taking the right remedial action, that he's turning to his spiritual master and he's asking the question, right? So, and also one of the things that Prabhupada mentioned, and then you also repeated, was that going to devotional service is like engaging and starting a war with Maya, right? something like that. Right? It
Yeah.
is something that is unbelievable, that we are saying that I want to get out of this material world with its beautiful flowers and beautiful relationships and so on and so forth. Right? So if we are, and we have to be very, very targeted. And who better, who can we think of? What name can we think of when it comes to being targeted other than Arjuna? Right? Because he's an archer. He knows how to, use his arrows. So we also have to use our arrows and, kill all the anarthas and kill all the obstacles that are coming in our way. Right? But we have to remember that if you have waged a war on Maya, just as we are reading about in our morning 6:30 sessions, we are reading about the Mahabharat war, yeah, just beginning, and Duryodhan and Arjuna, they're all looking at all those places. They're looking at their enemies and assessing and gauging their strengths, like that. So when you are in a war and you have started the war, then the opponent is going to retaliate. If we have declared war on Maya, then she will do all kinds of tricks, all
Yeah.
kinds of tricks. I mean, unbelievable and unimaginable kind of tricks will come your way. And for example, once one of Prabhupada's, when Prabhupada was here, one of the devotees there went and said Prabhupada, and he was obviously into drug taking and all that, and Prabhupada talked about 4 regulatory principles, so he gave those up, and he was in the process of being sober. And then one day Prabhupada comes in his dream and says, hey, you know what, you should start taking, smoking ganja again. So can you imagine this person? He sees the master come there, the guru come there and tell him that you should start smoking. So next day, obviously, like a good person, he goes and asks Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you came in my dream last night. And Prabhupada said, no, it was not me, it was Maya. So Maya can do things like that. I mean, there are instances where Hanumanji has come into people's, life and said, you give up devotional service. So we have to be very careful, and that's why you should always have somebody that you can turn to and ask these questions when these out of the blue kind of things, happen to you, right? So, and Arjuna is saying that yoga chalita manasaha, right? That was the term that was used over there, and so manasa. Manasa, we talked quite a bit about man, because he told about Chanchalam hi mana Krishna and all that, he's right? So he's talking about mind, and then what he's saying is that it is chanchal, but yoga chalata manasa means that when you are engaged in devotional service, and from there your mind is getting deviated into the other direction. You were trying to connect yourself with Krishna, and then the mind is going in the other direction, right? I mean, for others, normal karmis and all, their mind also goes from here to there, from this object of enjoyment to other object of enjoyment. They're doing that. But for us, we are trying to control all of these things. But even then, we have a mind that goes from this place to another place, aided by the senses. And Prabhupada said in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita that even one of the roaming senses. So we have to understand this fact that senses are roaming. They are not stable. You enter into the room and your eyes will start moving because you want to see what is there in the room, like that, right? So these senses are roaming, and out of all the senses that we have, only even one of the roaming senses can carry away the mind, as a wind carries away a boat in the ocean. That's what he says, 2nd chapter. So we know like that. But Arjuna is asking this question using his intelligence, because this intelligence will help him prepare for the future. What's going to happen if we die, right? And we have not accomplished the thing. So what's going to happen when we die? So at the time of death, and by the time of death, and during our life, we are using our mind and intelligence and false ego, right? So these 3 combined, define your consciousness. So if your consciousness has been, full of wanting to kill and always wanting to enjoy meat and all that kind of stuff, your consciousness, if the mind and intelligence, etc., were to take a shape, then they will start to take the shape of an animal which eats meat. Depending on the intensity with which you desire and the type of meat that you desire, your consciousness will start taking that kind of a shape. Your subtle body starts taking that kind of a shape, right? And then at the time of death, when the soul leaves the gross body, it carries the subtle body with it into another gross body. And guess what? That birth is just taking It's just taking the material and it is putting the material on top of this subtle body. So subtle body has already got a shape, and then it just becomes manifest in front of other people's eyes because we have put something gross on top of it. Bhumi, Analo, Vayu, like that. We have made the body there, right? So we have to be very, very cautious of what our consciousness is, because that is the consciousness that we will take with us. So it is good news and bad news. It is good news for the bhaktas, right? Because if you're performing bhakti, you're already following the four regulative principles. You're already not doing all that. You already have given up the desire to eat meat and all that. So your consciousness actually with whatever bhakti that you do is getting purified, right? It is getting purified. Even if it didn't become super purified, at least it is purified, right? And all these samskaras are getting etched in your mind. So after your death, when you go and get another body, and if you have suitably performed, the devotional service to Krishna, then you are guaranteed to get a human body like that. So what's going to happen to them? Well, if you're a devotee, then it doesn't matter. But for the devotee, it doesn't matter. And in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, they will talk about the yogis again. Because 8th chapter, Krishna comes back to all these dhyan yogis applying dhyan, goes a little bit more into the details, and he says that dhyan yogis, they want to go to higher planetary systems, and in the higher planetary system, the mystic yogis, they want to go to, so they get the powers by which they can leave the body at a time that they want to leave. And so they know that if I leave the body from this hole in the body, then I will reach such and such planet, and I have to leave at this particular time. It should not be dark. It should not be those 6 months, and so on and so forth. It should not be evening, like that. So they know all that, and through their powers, they are able to leave that body and go to the desired planet, right? On the other hand, a devotee does not care about these things, right? Doesn't care about that at all. Na janam, na dhanam, na sundarim. So janam, I don't care where I'm born. Whether I'm born in the low-class family, whether I'm born in a high-class family, whether I'm born in the hellish planets, whether I'm born in the heavenly planets, all that I want is, I want to have devotional service. And if you are a devotee then, and practicing devotional service in the earth, even if you get elevated to the heavenly planet where there are a lot of opulences, if you have developed the habit of listening to authorities, because there are heavenly planets where there are rishis, and if you reach those planets and the rishis are giving you more guidance, and if you listen to them, then you can continue on from those heavenly planets. You can continue on upwards into your journey into the spiritual sky. But if you don't do that and you go to a heavenly planet where you're saying that I just want to enjoy, because we have those tendencies, had that desire to enjoy heavenly delights, then shire punya marte lokam vishanti. That is when your devotional, when your pious credits are exhausted, whatever good activities that you do are exhausted, then you will come back into this material, into this earth. But doesn't matter, right? So I had not achieved God, I had still stayed here, but Krishna will take care of where you are there. So although my desire could have been that I wanted to enjoy that, Krishna sees, the super soul sees that, enables that, you get it, but the sanskars are still there, so that when you come back down here, Bhagavad Gita 240 says, Neha bhikramo nasosi pratyavayo na vidyate sualpame asya prayata mahato bhayat. So we say that even doing a little amount of devotional service gets rid of the biggest fear that we have. And what is the biggest fear that we have? What is the biggest fear a devotee has? And that is
death.
We are ruling out death, yeah. Devotee does not worry about death, higher level caliber devotee. The biggest fear that a devotee
Fall
is,
down
you said fall down, but into what? We are already fallen souls, right? No, the devotee is already here in the material world, right? That's why he's dying, right? In the spiritual world, there is no death.
Or forgetting Krishna completely.
Well, yeah, that's a very sweet desire. And if you have to remember Krishna all the time, then what sort of a body should you have? Human body, right? So you should have a human body, right? In the material world, if you want to get the capability to always remember Krishna, you should have a human body. So what will be your biggest fear?
That you may not have a human body.
There you go. Exactly right for 50 points, that you might not have a human body. So that is the biggest fear, that you might enter into an animal body. So that is why we have to make sure that we shape our consciousness in a proper way here in this material world, and try to control your mind by, whatever means it is required. Because when your mind goes in a particular direction, as Vajrika Prabhu says, where attention goes, energy flows, right? So if your attention is going there, then your legs are going to carry you there, right? So, and Krishna does take care. Krishna does take care, even if there is a fall down. For example, Chitraketu, right? We have read stories of, I have been telling stories of Chitraketu, of one who had a son called Harshashoka, right? So all that episode happens, and then he becomes a devotee of the Lord, and he's still a king, and he is moving around in his, or I don't know whether he was a king or not, I'm forgetting that part, but the main point is that he was in his aeroplane, and then from the top of the aeroplane, he sees Kailash, and there he sees that Shivji is sitting, and he's giving some discourse to other sages there, and Parvati Ma is sitting on his lap. So he finds that situation to be very comical, and he starts laughing. And so Shivji looks up to see who's laughing, and he says, oh, Chitraketu is laughing. And he understands, like, oh, maybe he's laughing because Parvati is sitting like that. And he doesn't give it any, much of credit or attention. But Parvati, who is sitting there, she doesn't like it, and then she curses him. And she curses him and says that you are going to become a demon. Now, anybody would have been, terrified, a devotee especially, to think that I'm going to become a demon. How bad is that for me? I mean, I'm the one who wants to love. Prema Pumartha Mahan. That's what I want to achieve. And I have to live a life of a demon. How can I do that, right? But it's a curse. And just like how Parikshit Maharaj took the curse as a providential arrangement, this Chitraketu also accepts. He accepts the curse that Parvati gives him. And then later on, he becomes Vritasura. He becomes the demon Vritasura. And even as he was a Vritasura, even in the body of a demon, he was still a bhakta inside. Like that. So, yes, Arjun is asking that question, that what's going to happen for those who have lost it in this life. But there is good news, and that's going to come in the next verse, next week, that we're going to cover. So I'm going to stop over here. We have a few minutes left for 7 o'clock to happen. And so let's open up for more reflections or questions or anything that you want to share here.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Sitapa.
Yes, Mataji. We know that devotee doesn't care, and na dhanam, na janam, na janam, na dhanam, na shuddharim. So they will continue the service. But I came across a line while reading the Bhagavatam 8 Canto, chapter 6. Those who are sinful cannot be attracted by devotional service. So, Mataji, if someone wants to start the devotional service and they are maybe in the wrong path or something, so they cannot start, because why then this line is stated here that cannot be attracted by the devotional service?
You have to tell me the precise verse that you're quoting, because from what I hear from you, you're saying if somebody is a sinner, then he cannot be taken into devotional service, right? And so, yes, there are sentences like that even in the Bhagavad Gita, where we are not talking about, like we also sin, right? We are in the devotional path, we also sin. We have got anartha, so we will continue to sin, right? And devotional services has a purifying effect. So it will have, what it will do is it will remove the tendency to sin from me, because I'm doing devotional service like that, right? But where we say that, those who are sinners and they cannot be able to do devotional service, we are really talking about the extremes, the naradhamas, the adhams, the lowest of the lowest in the naras, and they won't get to the devotional service. But there, Prabhupada also says that Krishna is saying that I perpetually cast them into the lowest things, right? Lowest planetary systems and things like that. But then he says that the devotees are so kind-hearted that they will still go after them. I mean, look at Prabhupada's, right? Prabhupada came here and he converted hippies into devotees. Now hippies, they were doing whatever sin you think of, they were doing it, right? All 4 regulatory principles completely abandoned, like that. So it's a mercy of a devotee. Krishna would have allowed them to rotten, okay, But Prabhupada brought bhakti to them and converted them into first-class devotees like that. So having said that, we should not just sit back, realize, and say that, devotional service is going to purify me. So that doesn't matter. Let me do some more sins, right? Because every time that you commit a sin, the tendency to commit that sin becomes strong. And every time that you desist from not doing that sinful activity, then you will, then you strengthen, and you kind of like win points against the bad samskaras that are there. And that will lead to, bad habits going away. So whatever anarthas that you have, they will get dissolved over there. So, yeah.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we have Divyangi Mataji watching us on Facebook. Thank you, Divyangi. And she said, yeah, and she says that a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from reading the Vedas, performing sacrifices. Very good. Bhagavad Gita, yes. Undergoing austerities, giving austerities, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Thank you so much for a wonderful citation in support of what we are reading and discussing in this chapter there. Yeah, 828 Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, that's what it is. Right. And so I'll also like to welcome those who are watching us on the Facebook. We have Dayanidhi Prabhu, Hari Krishna Dandatyam, and Divyangi, of course. Rani, you're there. I'm so happy. Mahesh Radhi Prabhu is there. And Sucharya Suzanne Teresa is there. Awesome. And Vidyavadu Neha has joined there. And well, she also said, love of God is the highest goal. Yes, you're correct for that. Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu, Dandat Prams, thanks for joining. And Apara Gorangi, good to have you there on the call. There. And then Neha is saying that in your battle against Maya, use your arrows to kill the anarthas. You like that? Yes, very good. Yeah, that's what we should learn. And that's what we should learn from the Bhagavad Gita, and as well as from this thing over here. Yeah. Any other points? Any other questions that you want to bring up? Anything you liked here from this particular verse, this particular question that Arjuna is asking? Okay, so if there are no more questions, then I will take your permission. I have another meeting to go to actually today after this. Vanchikalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patita nam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Okay, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining and making it a day here. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Varshana Mataji. Have a wonderful evening. Hari Bol, Hari.